I do this again, someone tells me that. I'm going to keep the finger here. All right. So the S, their need is to serve others. To serve. Okay? They're service-oriented. Who here is a high S? High S. Okay? So you love to serve. You love to take care of other people. Is that correct? Support people. No. It's just naturally the tendency. They want to be behind the scenes. They don't want their face out in the front. They are behind the scenes people who are very, very supportive, loyal, driven, consistent. They will show up 7 days a week, they're always there, always on time. So, very good team players, loyal, and they are very, very results oriented. They make steady forward progress always. So, my best agents back in 2015 and 16 were the most consistent were my S's. 1 deal a month, but they were always good for 1. Or 2. They would never get you don't have the 7 in 1 month, but consistency is key. 1 deal a month, consistently, I can count that person and knock out 12. We change lives every year. We're going to change 12 people through a sale every single year. Then you have your high Ds, they'll do 10 1 month, then none. Then 6, then none. Then they'll miss another month and they'll do 17. So they're just more erratic. S's, slow and steady, wins the race. Picture the tortoise and the hare. The I is the hare, the S is a tortoise. They're just going to keep making steady, plodding progress. Traditional practices in harmony. They do not like to work in a stressful boiler room environment. Not their thing at all. So they like harmony and traditional proven systems and practices. So if you're attempting to close on a high S agent, you do not say the word innovative, cutting edge. This is traditional, proven, time-tested, standard. It's been around for decades, eons. Like we have something called the guaranteed sale. We guarantee to sell a home or we'll buy it. If I'm talking to an S, it's like people have been trading and buying things back for eons. The cavemen traded stuff. It's the trade-up program. The cavemen were the first people to trade. We're just doing the same thing. No other agents are doing it. It's crazy. We're just the only ones who are traditional. It was like, this is the most innovative system in the world. We actually buy the house for themselves. It's crazy. It's cutting edge. It's new. It's amazing. So the D, bottom line, we're going to buy the house and build it itself. The C, let me show you all the performance guarantees and how the system works. And there's just check by step. So it's tailored to everything that goes down. Good? They avoid the loss of stability or change. This is huge. So in my office, I have 12 people on the staff. Most of them are S's and C's. If I'm going to change something, can I make rapid change right now without telling people?
No.
Nope. I got to call everybody in. And I got to say, this is what, this is why, this is how, this is the system, and we're going to meet again on this after we've all had time to process it. We need to change, and here's the reason we need to do this. We can't just say, all right, we're doing something different. So I have to enroll them and get them on board first. And say, I know this is uncomfortable, I know this is hard, and this is terrible. It's change. There's only 2 people, one type of person in the world who loves change. And that's a baby with a dirty diaper.
No.
Everyone else resisted a little bit. S's resisted a lot. So, big if you're trying to close on an S agent. Well, why should I change? I've used this for 3 years. I'm really happy with it. I can appreciate you just close on them in a different way, slow. Let's just build trust. And I'll show you how my systems are more proven and how speed creates power and systems create power and more touch points make you feel more secure and safe, and your clients will feel more safe and more secure. That's really what you want, safety and security and stability. But they're going to be very, very loyal. So they're not going to just hop away from the agent they're with. Why should I change? I'm glad you asked. Here's exactly why. And here's why. And here's why. So, very, very different. Their negative is possessiveness. So, never screw with a high S's desk. You touch someone on the S's desk, it's like, what happened? They're nameplate people. Anytime you see an agent out there with a name tag on, they're probably a high S. They wear name tags and nameplates. They're big. They're huge. They're possessive of their departments. They're possessive of their stuff. Their possessions are very, very, very possessive. So I tell my agents when they go into a high S's house, do not touch anything. Now, how do you know you're in a high S's house? There's one way you can tell immediately when you're in a high S's house. There's pictures everywhere. There's pictures of the family literally everywhere. like life-size sometimes. Wow, these people have their kids. There's literally like pictures everywhere because they're very possessive and they're family-centric. So very, very, very aware of their possessions and their stuff. So when you look at someone's desk, if they're completely disorderly, they're a DI. If they're very, very organized, they're probably an SC. If you look at their picture, if the picture is facing out, they're an IS. If the picture is facing them, they're a DC. Because a DC is like, you're looking at me, that's all that matters. An IS is, look at me, look at them, it's my family. A DC is like, I'm what fucking matters, look at me. So you see someone's office, you can do little quick tickers like, picture facing them. So that office right there, I don't see any pictures in it. In the back, those pictures are facing out. So that means Randy is probably an IS, and he is. So his picture's facing outbound. If that were my office, it would be facing my chair and my desk because I don't want anyone to see. It's mine. So just a different way of looking at the world. C, okay, their basic need is comply, to never be wrong. If the book calls for it, it's correct. They will proofread your emails. Be careful. Oh, they forgot a colon. Of course. This person is leaked. They look at every single thing you send. They read it. They also send very long emails. A DI, 2-3 lines, maybe 5. S's and C's, longer in their communication, more thorough. C's will look at everything you write. They'll digest it. They'll think about it. They must adhere to a high standard. So, their strengths are accuracy and intuitiveness. They're very, very accurate in their approach. They're intuitive. They're really good at intuition. The key is they do not want to make a mistake. So they don't want to be wrong. Their goal is to be right. So they want to do it the right way. They cannot stand being wrong or when someone criticizes what they're doing. So if they get questioned like, oh, actually, let me show you the reference. Pop, 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 pop. So, high C, right? When someone challenges you on something, you're correct. What do? Yeah. You go, nope, actually, A says this, and B says this in corollary 7, and this subparagraph, I'm actually 100% correct. You're wrong. They're okay with that. So, probably don't want to get into an argument with the high C. They're probably right. So, the C's can be very, very critical of other people and themselves. So C's tend to be very judgmental if someone doesn't do it their way, or if they happen to smudge on a rule or do something wrong or get a speeding ticket. The C goes bonkers. Like, how could you not follow the rules? How could you do that? How could you not be on time for this? How could you go off the program? It says, this is the table, this is the content. You got off the program. So C's just can't deal with that. It really, really jams them up. So, now, so the key is simply knowing a personality profile will help you communicate with them. The reason they are who they are is because something in their environment, also their natural, where they're born, something has in their life has affected them that they do what they do for survival. So there's a reason why they're first born towards one certain predisposition. But then through their life, something happens, and it either cements it or it shifts it drastically. So someone who's a high D and I when they're young can shift to an S and a C. Someone who's an S and C can change to a D and an I. So it really is basically how they're born and the environment they grow up in. So the high I's in the room. There's a reason why there's a high I in you. If you look back somewhere in your past, you're able to pinpoint, oh, I had this growing up, or I didn't have this, or this happened, and that caused me to be a certain way. Same thing for a C or an S. There's something back there in the young years that your environment created who your personality is. Because it's about survival. So, key is, there's tons of different tendencies out there. The biggest thing is, the more opposite you are, the lower the score on your list, that's your hardest person to identify with. So if you have very, very low S, I'm very, very low S. I just don't even understand the S. It blows my mind. I'm like, how can you not want to change? I want to change all the time. I want everything to change. I love change. I want speed. I want it now. I'm not going to read it. It takes too long to read. Let's go. So it's my hardest person to understand. So that's the least patience that I have, is with a high S. So I have to really focus internally on me when I'm dealing with an S, because it makes no sense to me. It's like algebra. I don't even know what it means. I just see X's and Y's. I gotta solve. It's terrible. So I look at the paper next to me. So the S is just, for me, the most difficult. If you look on your own sheets, the one that's the lowest on yours is probably one you've had the biggest challenge with in a transaction. Now, what's damning to me is S's and C's are 75% of the world. So as a D and an I, I'm screwed. 75% of the world I'm not going to relate to. So it's a challenge all the time for me to step down and recognize who I am and look in the mirror and say, all right, you're a DI. You're actually an asshole sometimes. Actually, you are an asshole. You got to be really nice to everyone else. Because otherwise I'm not going to be able to influence. Does that make sense?
Yes, definitely.
So who here has a C as their lowest? So, have you ever dealt with an engineer?
Yes.
How fun is that? See, it's annoying, naturally. Who here has D as their lowest? Their lowest one is D. You guys probably think I'm a prick. You're like, man, that guy's weird.
I think you're funny.
Oh, okay, good. So, the key is, whatever your lowest is, you got to know and be wary, because that's the person you're going to get the natural guttural response. Like, oh, this person really bothers me. They're late. Like, oh, wait a minute. That's because my lowest is D and I, and they're okay with casual use of time. So, now, we talked about this a little bit, stress recovery, how they recharge their batteries. So, you got your high D's, physical activity, I's, social, S, chill, nothing, and C's, thinking. So this is literally the way all these individuals will recharge their batteries. It's where they go to their happy place. So me, I work out twice a day. Why? There's a lot of D in me. I work out in the morning, work out in the evening. Even if it's only 30 minutes, just activity. I get a discussion with my wife. I go work out. I'm like, God, where are you going? I work out. Why? Because it's where I think and where I recharge. So my kid says something, he's 8 years old, he's like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, God, this is great, you're so spirited. I love this. But I gotta go work out. I'll go crazy. So, very, very true for me and for the agents I talk to, my high I agents. When they have a rough day, they want to throw back a beer. Let's go to the bar, have a beer. Their S is like, oh, John, this weekend I'm gonna curl up and read a book. I'm like, fun. And C's just, they want to get to a place where they can just think and recharge that way. So, who here is a very, very high C? You're a high C. Do you guys, when you're recharging, do you just want to think and relax and kind of veg?
I'm physical, actually.
So then you're a CD. You're probably a DC or a CD somewhere. Some part of you is D. You. What do you do to recharge? Read. Think. Let your mind reset. What do you do to recharge?
I do both. I go to the gym and then I stay home and do nothing.
Yes. So you get your workout out of the way, and then you recharge thinking, reading, doing something.
Yep.
Okay. Who's my high eyes? What do you guys do when it's been a stressful day? You got to recharge.
Happy hour.
Yeah. If you're a DI, you drink beer while you're working out. So, like a rugby player. Good. So, the key is we're all going to have stressors in our life. The only people who have no stress are in graveyards. So, very, very important to realize you're going to have some level of stress. It's just how you deal with it. And remember that the people in your lives around you who are not your personality profile recharge in very, very different ways. So some people can recharge at their own desk and just recharge right there because they get a quiet place. All right, let me process this and move on. So one thing I did not mention. If you're horizontally or vertically aligned, meaning you're a DI or a DC or an IS or an ID, that's very, very common. The most unique people in the world cross the meridians. An IC, CI, or a DS, SD. Very, very, very unique. Unicorns. Very, very few of them. Why? A high D's like, we gotta go, we gotta move, we gotta move, we gotta move. We gotta be stable and supportive and kind and conservative. We gotta go. This has to happen right now. Why? Why? There's a constant questioning that goes on in their head. CIs are the same way. Let's party. Whoa, what time is it? We gotta make sure we're right. Okay, good. So I gotta proofread that and gotta be correct. But party, let's go. We need to be on time. Wait. So if you're a CI or an IC or a DS or an SD, who here has one of those two? You do. Which one of you? CI.
I thought it was broken. I thought I did something wrong.
No. So you're the unique person. You have this constant struggle in your head. I gotta be on time, but I want to go party. I gotta proofread this back home. Like there's just going to be a little bit of a struggle. Yeah. You have that, don't you?
I do, but I didn't know if that was real. That was like on the charts.
Yeah. So CIs, extremely confident. Are you very, very confident in your abilities?
Actually, I feel like I'm not right.
Paper's wrong. So most of the time, how long have you been in the industry?
3 years.
So maybe it's just time. And anything else in your life, are you confident?
Yeah.
Okay. Why? Because you're optimistic and you're correct. So you're happy, you're outgoing, but you never make a mistake. How can you not be confident?
Right.
So maybe in this industry alone because it's new.
Yep.
But that's what I understand. Do we have any SDs, DSs? Best type of salesperson in the world?
Yes.
Yes. Why? Because you can close, take the rejection, and then come and be so supportive after. Like, yes, I know we did this and it's really, really tough, but it's safe, secure, and did the right thing. Now let's get to work. So DSs are great salespeople. So why? Because no problem being rejected, no problem with the workload, no problem with high stress, and also extremely supportive, conservative employee. So congratulations.
Thanks.
So there's usually not a DS and an IC in a room. So that's very, very unique. So we're pretty cool. Now, let's look up here. The top shows the most like them. The bottom shows the most unlike them. So on the D, Ds can make decisions quickly and they can say things that are unpopular and take risks. The most opposite of them is not need the spotlight and be a good team player. Ds are not good team players. They want to be in charge. They cannot, they're terrible followers because they have a better way of doing it. Ds just, they do not want to be team players. They want to be team captains. So I has natural optimism. They trust others. They can make people feel great, welcome, but they're not necessarily the best listeners and the best observers. But they can, at the top, they can do that really, really well. S, order, stability, record keeping, support, flexibility. Not the S's predetermination. It's not something that's the complete opposite of what they're used to. The C, systems, quality control, rules, accuracy, write their own rules, go around obstacles. Not the innovator at all. These are not your people who can solve problems that don't have the solution in the book. They just will not innovate. So my office manager used to be a high C and a D. Like, well, how can we figure this out? I don't know. Like, well, let's innovate. Like, let's brainstorm. What does the book tell us? Like, I don't know. Let's write it. I'm not comfortable with this. So she was really, really good doing things that were by the book and compliance, but she was not going to innovate. So we had a system in place for paying out vendors. That was like 37 steps. It was way too many. We condensed them into 4 when she left. But she could never see the forest of the trees. Because she's like, step 1 is done, step 2 is done, step 3 is done, step 4, correct, step 3, check. Not realizing if I condense these 4 here, get rid of this one, put that on someone else, and shorten this, streamline this, and process this, we can make this way more efficient. She just could never see that because she was right here looking down at the trees while I'm up looking above them. This is ridiculous. We need to do it that way. So as soon as I saw the process, I'm like, 37 steps? This is ridiculous. We got to shorten this. But C's will not innovate. They're not innovators. And thank God. Who wants to innovate when we're building a building? Well, we'll just leave this out. We don't really need that floor. We don't need that steel right there. It's fine. Let's make it plastic. We'll save money. Not a good thing. So, Adapting your style. Adapting your style. So, when you're communicating, talking, words with a high D, when you're communicating with a D on the phone, this is their body language. So, if you're going to communicate with a high D, you don't get really in their space. Why? Because they're confrontational. Like, oh, what are you doing? Get away from me. So, strong, firm handshake, direct eye contact, controlled, lean forward, lean in. You have to be very, very strong in your communication. If you're trying to close on a high D and you're like, well, I think this is the way we should go. I really believe this is the best. And I kind of think that if you would give me a chance, you're going to be like, no. Because a D wants another D to lead them. So a D will take confrontation. So if we have a seller who's a high D, we must have the high D agent in there because they're okay with the confrontation. So you're a high D. If you're communicating with an agent on the phone and they're a high S, you're going to run over them. Another high D agent's like, no, get off the phone. You're like, oh, I got something to show you. You want to listen? I can change your fucking life. You want to shut up for a minute so I can teach you something? And they'll be okay with it. You'll be okay with it. You'll probably get along really well. So you just have to be very, very strong with another D. So if you get on the phone and a D is there and you're an S, you better ramp up really quickly. If you're a C, you better get up quickly. Because otherwise, it's not going to last. You're going to build no rapport. So fast and abrupt is a high D speech patterns, and very funny. They always talk in terms of win, lead, results, now, new, challenge. That's just the way a high D is going to think and talk. The high I, they're touchy. They love humor, eye contact. They're very, very expressive. Enthusiastic in their voice. They're going to have modulation. They're going to be friendly, very, very energetic. Their speech, they will skip around sometimes. They'll start here. They'll talk about this. They'll jump to something else. Very just who they are. And their words are fun. I feel. That's a huge I term. I feel. I don't give a shit. I feel. What's it going to do for us? So I's are very much I feel, I believe, I think. They're sociable, but they'll make you look very, very good. This will make you look good. I want this person to look good as my friend. And they'll use the word exciting all the time. Exciting. Great. So, yes, their body language is relaxed, methodical, lean back, very, very small gestures. They're not going to be flamboyant in their gestures. Their hands are going to move very slowly, very methodical. This is how we should proceed because this is the best way to do it. But it's the ID, the eye. It was like all over the place. So, be very, very methodical. Shoulders pulled out. The S is going to be very, very methodical, warm, soft, steady, low volume, very, very stable. So, kind of uncomfortable. They're slow, logical. Now, I'm in S mode right now, you can tell. But they're going to say, this is the step-by-step way to proceed. Help me out, I guarantee. Let's promise each other. Let's commit. Let's think about it. I'm not ready to make a decision right now. Let me think it over and sleep on it. That's your S's. Very warm. So, C's. They keep your distance, firm posture, direct eye contact, no gestures at all. They are not going to move around. They're very, very methodical in everything they do. Why? Because it's too much energy. They don't want to move around a lot. They utilize the energy they have. Controlled, direct, thoughtful, very little modulation, slow and methodical again. These are the facts. This is proven. Analysis, guarantee, prediction. They're big on numbers and established systems as well. Make sense? Any questions on these adaptive styles here? Man, you guys were great. No questions. I must be doing something right. Okay. All right. As far as disc-wise, that's the basics of disc. So, are there any questions about what we've covered so far? I'm about to teach you how you can use disc specifically in different situations. Any questions?
No.
Anything. This is your chance.
I got one question.
Yeah, I got an answer.
The adaptive
Yes.
rating or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just clarify that exactly?
Yes.
So you get stressed.
Okay.
What's that?
So natural is who we are in our natural state when we are not putting on a front, when we're out with our friends. It's just who we are. The adaptive may be we have a career that is different than our personality. So we have to put on this certain behavioral mode when we go into different environments.
So that's why my adaptive C is really high.
Yes, because you have to be a C, because you're a loan officer, correct? You have to have some high C. You may not love it, you can do it, but you have to do it because that's how you get a loan closed. Loans are a step-by-step methodical process. So it's just, all right, do we have the underwriting? Do we have all the conditions met? Do we have is it an LP or is it a DU underwriting? Is it this? It's process. And you can't make a mistake.
Should we take a quick bathroom break?
Yeah, let's take a quick bathroom break.
Why not?
Sound good? So let's do 10 minutes. What's our time check now?
Yes, 3:19. We'll be getting back at 3:30.
3:30 back, and we'll close this thing out in about 30 minutes.
Yep.
Good? You bet.
How you pass this?
This is my first time ever using it,
Yes.
so I don't
What happened on July
I'll
6th?
just stop.
Use that
PowerPoint?
Oops.
And then move that one back to the very front so we can just take care of it.
I also wanted to provide you guys some more value. How many of you are going after listing agents right now? How many of you used to go after listing agents? But why did you not typically prospect and go after listing agents hardcore? What? You don't get as much business, right? Because what's the progression of as an agent, right? You start as a buyer's agent, right? Over time, what do they want to become? A listing agent, right? Then now you have the best buyer's agent, now becomes a listing agent. Is it easy to get business when you have a listing agent, when you're doing cross calls or capturing the business on the other end?
No.
Is this the type of business you guys want? No, right? And then most listing agents don't know how to grow a team, right? So therefore, as they grow the team, those buyer's agents aren't as skilled as the listing agent themselves. What's gonna happen in the market as homes are sitting on the market longer and longer and longer?
Some of the listing agents are going to become buyer's agents.
Correct. And who are the best agents in the beginning? So do they have bills to pay?
Yes.
Right, so they're gonna be out, they're gonna start representing buyers. How many of you are now how many of you have been in business for more than 5 years? More than 10 years? How many of you are now going back to the basics of the stuff that you did when you first got in the business? Right? I mean, if people are not, if you're not closing the business that you need to be closing, I mean, start doing open houses. Not go do open houses for people, go to open houses, build relationships with the agents, meet them face to face. How many of you actually have a good presentation? Why is someone going to work with you? What's your value proposition? Sam, what's your value proposition?
If an agent says, hey, why should I use you as a lender over somebody else?
Yeah.
I say, listen, our true value is that we're gonna help convert more of your leads to closings. That's where the real value and money, not, paying $1,000 for Zillow. And the way we do that is we educate clients, we make them confident to act, we aggressively go after this agent, help them get their offer accepted. And when they get into process, we're gonna make them really happy that you referred them to us, because when they go into your database, 15% of your database is gonna do a loan in the next 12 months, and they want you, they need to be really happy that they sent you to me, and we care about your reputation. So we kinda hit those three things.
So Sam, Gabriel Hansen, huge team. You guys know the top producing team here in City and wanted to go back and forth, but we're good buddies. I invited him to come to record this so he can give this to his team. But how many of you calling the clients that are in escrow asking for referrals? Raise your hands. How many of you feel that you're good at it? How many of you are actually getting referrals? A few of you. So I was going to do a quick little role play, right? This is what I'm doing. I don't know who that got here earlier, heard me on the phone prospecting. I have a ton of green time. I'm literally calling every single client that's in escrow, calling every agent that's in escrow. I'm personally giving updates each week, right? For me, I'm doing the volume, so it's a little easier to capture the agents on the other end. After we close the deal, hey Steve, how do we do? Let's say you're listening. How do we do?
You guys are amazing.
So my team good care of you?
Yeah, those videos were really cool.
Oh, thanks. So, Steve, take a moment and visualize. Can you imagine every single transaction for the rest of your career, just like that,
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet.
yeah, what would that do to your business?
Probably bump it up a few transactions.
Steve, let's make that a reality. In fact, I'm gonna show you how I can help you add even more transactions to your year in 2018. Steve, are you available Monday, or does Tuesday work better for you?
How are you gonna add more transactions?
Dude, that's exactly what we need to meet. So are you available Monday, or does Tuesday work better for you?
Tuesday's probably better.
Perfect. Then I go ask some qualifying questions. But as far as current client referrals, right? So I'm calling a client. Obviously, you need to know about the deal, right? I'm gonna say, pretend Justin is the client. So, hey Justin, this is Scott Evans, Cross Country Mortgage. The first time we're getting to speak. I've been traveling, so I apologize I haven't reached out sooner. I just want to give you an update on your loan. We just got your loan approval. I don't know if you received that email today.
Yeah, thank you.
So we're right on track. We're ahead of schedule. One of your Marissa, our team member, is going to send you an email as far as what remaining items are left in order to finish your loan. But Justin, what was that?
So what is left?
She's going to email you shortly. So we're right on track. You're doing an incredible job. But the real reason I'm calling is because I'm so passionate about changing people's lives. And just like you were referred to us from John, that's how our business is built, is based on referrals. And there's a few ways that people create wealth in the United States. Number one, you could win the lotto, right? Which not many people win the lottery. You could inherit it. I don't know if you have a rich uncle or sugar mama, sugar daddy. You could play the stock market, which is pretty risky, right? You could start a business, which most businesses fail right in the beginning, or you could purchase and create wealth through real estate, which 70% of Americans become millionaires through real estate. And that's what I want to do is reach out to some people that you know. We call it the butterfly effect. So literally a butterfly flapping their wings has the ability to be able to create a hurricane on another part of the world. So let's change someone's life. That's what I'm passionate about. So who do you know right now that is looking to purchase or sell real estate?
I don't know anybody right now.
Justin, most of my past clients actually do say that similar answer. But what I've found that has been really, really useful is actually just answering a few questions. For instance, Justin, who do you know that's renting?
A lot of my friends are.
A lot of your friends rent. And in fact, did you know that there are programs right now that they can get down payment assistance, government money to be able to purchase a home right now? They need to be educated. And you need to change their lives. Just like we're helping you create wealth through real estate and making this an amazing experience, let's make an amazing experience for someone else.
Cool, well, I'll definitely let them know and get back to you.
So there's a few other questions, Justin. I'm going to email these to you, but who do you know who's having a baby? Who's going through a divorce? Who's getting married? Who has kids going off to college, right? Who maybe needs to remodel their home? Who's maybe interested in purchasing an investment property? In fact, we can actually lend in all 50 states. So if you have people in any part of the country, we can help them out. So I'm going to challenge you. Let's change 2 people's lives. So I'm going to send you an email. I want you from now to next week, think of 2 people that fit into that box. Can you do that for me?
Yeah, I can probably do that.
And in fact, I'm so passionate about this. I'm going to donate to a charity of your choice on behalf of you.
No way.
Yep, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Right on my. So I'm going to email you.
How much?
So I'm going to email you next week. I'm going to email you next week, all right? And I'm going to challenge you. Let's change 2 people's lives, all right? That's fair? Perfect.
That's fair.
All right, I'm going to call you next week, same time. And that's what I do. I literally get referrals just from doing that. Granted, obviously I'm presenting to all of you guys, so I was a little nervous. I'm usually in a zone, freaking good. I'm not like John as a public speaker, but that's what I'm doing, right? So I challenge all of you guys. We need to be doing this, right? We need to create value. Most people close fast, right? Most people communicate, but we have to separate ourselves from everyone else, right? So that's my 2 things that I want for you guys to do. Start going after listing agents because they're going to start representing buyers. In fact, Christian, who was in the office yesterday, goes to me, dude, you'll never guess. I'm literally doing a deal right now, and 3 deals right now, and Greg Newman is the buyer's agent on the deals. Greg Newman is representing buyers right now. So that's all I got.
Okay, so I have the agent's perspective. As a listing agent and buyer's agent, we've always been buyer heavy. 70% of our business has always been buyers. Why? Because that's where the challenge is. Listing a home in San Diego for the last 7 years has been pretty easy. Put a sign up, put it on the MLS, and it sells. Being a buyer's agent requires someone to actually sell. You have to walk into a house and you have to get somebody to take massive action and spend $500,000 or $600,000 or $700,000 or $1 million or $200,000. So it takes a lot more. The best agents out there start as buyer's agents. Because it's tough to get someone to go into $500,000 worth of debt for a house in San Diego. It's a challenge. Especially when they come from Pennsylvania, like, wow, I could get a farm for this much. Like, yeah, but no, there'd be snow on it and all kinds of other stuff. So the key is what is it agents want? What do agents want? When you're prospecting agents, what is it an agent truly wants?
Leads are converting
It's one or the other. Which one?
Leads.
Do they want leads? That's it, man. That is the only thing an agent wants. Now, there's motivated agents and there's what I call slow-motivated agents. Some of them want closings. Some of them want a closing but don't want to work. So, slow-motivated agents want all the benefit with none of the grind. So, motivated agents want closings. So, your unique selling proposition has to be based on, I am going to bring you more closings. That's the only thing agents want. What's the only thing a buyer wants?
The house.
That's it. Buyers don't want agents. They don't. See, agents think buyers actually want to talk to a real estate agent. They have no desire to talk to me whatsoever. I have to get between what a buyer wants and what they want, or what a buyer and what they want, which is houses. I have all the houses. I've got off-market properties. I have flip properties. I have inventory that no one has access to. Would you like access to it? You could be part of our program. Join. Come into the office. Let's meet. Because I know I have to get between what the consumer wants and what I have. What do sellers want? The only thing a seller wants.
Sell their house.
Buyers.
Buyers.
Buyers, that's it. So when I'm communicating with a seller, it's like, dude, I've got the buyers. You don't need an agent. There's thousands of them. You need the buyers. I've got the thousands of them. That's why you need me. I have 5,000 buyers in my database right now who are ready to go. Why have to get an agent who's got to go find them and hunt for them and market to them? I've got them right now. Just hire me and we'll get the home sold because I've got the buyers. So you guys, as lenders, have to be able to provide closings. So we, as buyers agents, have to sell our buyers on our lender because their lender or their buyer comes in. Oh, I've got I don't know. Name Sparkomatic Loans. I've got Sparkomatic Loans. She's a family friend. Like, yeah, that's great. How's Thanksgiving going to go when this loan doesn't close? It's not going to go well at all. So we have to sell unique selling propositions for our lenders, which Scott has armed us with. We close faster, we close more, we're more likely to close as our lender cross country. We're able to sell cross country on a myriad of different items. The speed is always great for us. We can close a loan in 10 days. We can close faster so we have more negotiating power. Speed creates power. Would you have more power in the transaction or less? I agree, let's have more. We're more likely to close. We have never lost a loan across country after they've been fully approved, never. So the other agents, it's like hit or miss, the other lenders. You want to go in and be partially successful or be 100% guaranteed. So we just always are able to sell Scott based on the USP that he's delivered for us. In fact, he made this screenshot up that we actually present to our buyers. It has the 5 big reasons to go with Scott Evans. Close faster, close more communication, more likely to close, and other people say so. So there's a lot of unique selling propositions that we use for Scott. So it gets our buyers away from, well, my friend's a lender. Like, that's just great. How many loans have they done in the last month? See, I don't say it to impress you, Mr. Buyer, but to impress upon you. When you do 50, 60, 70, 80 loans a month, you just get good at it. Would you like to have the person who does 1 or 2 loans a month? That's like the surgeon who does 1 or 2 surgeries a year who's working on your heart, not the guy I want on my heart. Because my wife needs this thing. So do I. So, key is I've got to have the guy who does 350 loans a year, 350 surgeries. 5,000, whatever, 500. That's the guy I want. So, make sense?
What about, talk about with rate?
Rate. God, I love when they come to rate. So, when people challenge me, or used to challenge me on rate, well, we found this lender who could do it for X. That's great, but the rate on a loan you never get is never going to be consequential because your lender can't get you the loan accepted. Our lender fights to get your offer accepted. There's 3 legs of a transaction. when you're working as a buyer. There's you, the buyer, me, the agent, and the lender that we use. It's a three-pod. I don't say tripod because there's no such thing as tri in my world, so I would say three-pod, three-angle. I can't say triangle because I don't use the word tri. Tricep is a deucep, so I can't say tri, I say three-pod. So it's a three-pod. The buyer, the agent, and the lender. So we have to have all three on the same page fighting together to get the offer accepted. So like he said in the back there, our lender calls and talks to the listing agent. So your lender, who shuts down their doors at 4:35 p.m., that you can't get a hold of on a $500,000 transaction because you happen to work till 5:30, what do? You got to get someone over in some admin department in India? Is that who you want to talk to about your $500,000 mortgage? Or do you want to talk to someone who always answers the phone every day, who's always there for you? So yes, rate is great. Has there ever been a time in your life where you got something for the lowest amount and it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to? You ever paid the least and got something you really weren't expecting? This time it's just like that one, only we're not going to let you make that mistake. We're going to make sure you do it the right way. If you want Kmart prices, you get Kmart quality. This is a $500 home transaction. We're not buying a pair of underwear. So let's spend the money, do it the right way. You can always refinance in 6 to 9 months, get a lower rate then. Let's get the property first. That's what you really want, isn't it? Done. I have a lot of experience with this. Talked to a lot of buyers. So, the key is get them off rate, because rate is the only way most consumers know how to measure a loan. Well, it must be rate. That must be the cheapest. But is that really what they're looking for? No, they want the home. That's what the buyer wants. So like, well, the rate's not going to get you the home. The lender is. And the lender, who shuts their doors at 4:30 p.m., it doesn't answer, and the seller is calling them, or the seller's agent calls them and wants an update on this new price based on the offer and counteroffer scenario, they're not going to get an answer, but the guy who does answer that phone call is going to get the loan. So, make sense?
Any other things?
I just did training this today with my team. So.
I'll just say one thing. Right now, it's a big psychological problem for the buyer. The seller's been treating them like crap for 5-6 years. You know, requests for repairs have been brutal. Contingency removals, waive your appraisal. Like, buyers seem, in my opinion, seem to just have been fed up with this continual price rise and just the way that they've been treated by sellers. So, if we show somebody, just as an example, it's $850 purchase price, it's 10% down, your rate's 4.5, we can lock it today. What we're doing is we're putting right next to it. If your rate were to go to 5 because you're fence sitting, here's how much we would have to lower your purchase price to make your payment the same. So we put that side by side, and they see it go to $800,000, and they say, wait, I lose $50,000 in purchasing power, and I do know rates are going up, I'm hearing rates are going up, I see the Fed. So when we educate them like that, it puts it in perspective. Hey, the seller wants me to pay, they just counted me for $10,000. Well, if you wait, you might blow $50,000 right out of the wall. Or 100, depending on what happens. So it's educating, it's total education to make them confident to act, because without the information, the void just gets filled with negativity and they freeze. So that's something we're working on right now.
All right, so I'm going to go really quickly. The cheat for this when you're talking to someone. How in 2 questions you can determine with a little bit of confidence, 75-80%, what they are: high D, I, SOC. Does everyone want to see the cheat on this?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so I had a feeling you would say that. So take out a piece of paper, blank, nothing on it, and draw a crossbar just like this down the middle. Okay, just across like the Cartesian plane, the 4 quadrant. Okay, everyone has that. So when you're talking to somebody and you want to figure out what their dispersonality profile is, take your pen and you ask them the first question. So you want to write below this first question you ask them is, do you typically make big decisions quickly, or decisions quickly, or do you take a lot of time to process the information? Do you make decisions quickly, or you need a lot of time to process and think about the information? You're asking them, are they above this line or below it? Do you make decisions quickly, or do you take a lot of time to make the decision? If they say, I typically take a lot of time, you can pretty much assume they're below this because they're slower paced, more passive, they need more data, they're going to be below the line. The second question is, when you're recharging your batteries, do you prefer to, or when you're on your off time, do you prefer to be around people or do you prefer to be alone? If they say, I prefer to be around people, they're INS, they're on this side. If they say, I don't want to be around a human being, I want to be alone, they're probably a DC. So you can quickly calibrate who they are. So, okay, I don't know anything about your personality. So, do you tend to make decisions quickly, or you make them a little slow?
Depends on the situation. I'm equally so it's
No, you have to just tell me.
Oh,
Now I know what you want.
quickly.
Okay, so I'm going to use someone else. Who am I not talking to? This lady over here. I'm going to talk to you if that's okay. Immigration, can we do this?
Yes.
All right, great. Do you typically make decisions really quickly, or do you take a lot of time when you're making decisions? Okay, so I know she's above the line. Now, when you're out or you're on the weekend, do you like to be around a lot of people, or do you like to really just be alone? She's probably an I with a little bit of S, or an ID, but she's definitely I. You and I? Okay. Why? Above the line, like to be around people. She's an I. Okay, who else can I? How about you? Striped shirt. Can we do this?
Yes, we can.
When you make decisions, you make them really quickly, or do you make them really slow?
Really slow.
Really slow, okay. On the weekends, when you're away from work, when you have some time to yourself, you like to be around people, you like to be alone.
Alone.
Are you a C?
Yes, and an S. Equal.
You're a CS, okay? So, that's how you do it. That's the cheat. Pretty simple.
Scott's laughing.
Any questions on this? Awesome. That's the cheat. Very, very simple. Now, how you make those into questions, you got to figure out. So if you see something, you're like, how? How do I do that? How do I ask them that? How do I do that? I have no idea. You figure it out. So our ISAs have a way of doing this on the phone. They ask, wow, so, you know, when you're purchasing a big home like this, you want us to give you a lot of data, or are you ready to go right now? They'll ask them stuff like that. Do you want the office more empty when you come in, or do you care if there's a lot of people there? They'll figure out different ways to ask them the same questions. Make sense? Okay. Now, we're talking about one of my favorite things, which is mindset. Woo! Okay. Now, giving you a lot of information in here. Okay. A lot of stuff about D, I, S, and C. There's a lot of information we went over. The key thing is 80% of our lives is made up by our psychology. 20% of it is skill. So, what does that mean? It means if you have the right mindset on something, you have an 80% chance of getting it. The skill and the tactics don't really matter that much. Scott, you've been in loans now 12 years or 13 years. Yep. In 06, you were a top producing lender. You did pretty well in 06, 07. What was going on in the marketplace in 07?
Market full of falling apart.
Yeah, in 08. How many loans did you close in 07 or 08?
I did 27 first year, 72, then 96, and then.
Would you say you outperformed a typical lender who had been in the market for 10 years?
Yeah,
Why?
worked hard.
Yeah, because mindset. It was the psychology. Everyone else saw the market's crashing, it's falling apart. What do? I'm gonna go be a bartender. He was a bartender. He's like, nobody took him loans. It's like me. I was a Marine in Iraq and Afghanistan in 2009, 8, and I was like, God, I gotta get out of here. I want to go into real estate. Yeah, I don't want to be here. I want to get out of war. I want to go into real estate. Everyone else is getting out. I want to join the Marines. I'd rather go to war than to be in this crashing market. I'm like, I gotta get out. I want to go be in real estate. So totally different, just mindset and psychology. So let's hammer in on this. Oh, did it again. You let me do that. It's your fault. So can you find another item? So mindset is. Abby, can you help him out? He doesn't know where it is.
It was right after that. It was right after
So
that.
great job. The high D jumped up to do it. No idea where it is. Just did it. Just right. You know what going on. There's GPS, man. I'll figure it out. So there we go. So state. So let's talk about
I thought it was towards the end of the slides.
mindset, and state. determine our life. So if we think about our lives, there are times where we have negative things that come into them. In sales, which we're all in sales, we have to quickly be able to shift our state out of this. Who has ever seen how to shift their state quickly? Hey, Scott, where have you learned about shifting your state?
Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins, great, that's where I learned too. So how do you shift your state quickly? Because if you don't shift your state, what happens is you can't get stuff done. You don't become productive. Do you do things really well in a high energy state or a low energy state? When you're in a low energy state, are you very productive? Do you make the best decisions? But you're in a high energy state, it's like you can do anything. Nothing can stop you. Like, yeah, I'm on a roll, let's go, let's give me something else. Throw something at me. What do you got? Because when you're in a high energy state, nothing is impossible. When you're in a low energy state, nothing is possible. It's like, oh, you become the ear of the donkey. Like, it's a gloomy day. So, how do you shift yourself out of a mind state that's not where you want it to be? So there's 3 things that go into state. There are 3 things that determine your state. And if you determine your state, you determine your results. Determine your results, you determine the future and your life. This is so powerful. This is one of the biggest things I can possibly give you guys. And it's really, really simple. The first, this is called the 3 angle of state, or the 3 ad. I can't say TRY, so that's why I'm not saying it. The 3 angle of state. The base of this 3 angle is physiology. Sorry, I just can't say it.
What do you call tri-tip?
What the hell is it? It's snake tip. So, all right. Physiology. All right, so what is physiology? Movement, motion, posture. So we're sitting at our desk. We get negative noon. This thing's going to close, or this thing's going to cancel. This transaction's going to cancel. Oh, another email. We're canceling too. Oh, 3 cancellations. That's a paycheck. It's not looking good. The first thing you want to do is, first of all, your mind state's in a bad place. Oh, I'm sorry. It's in a place that needs opportunity to grow. The first thing you're going to do is you stand up and you get oxygen into your brain. Okay, it's the very, very first thing. Now, let's talk about something on a personal level. We get in a discussion with our significant other, and it's an intense discussion. Some people call that a fight, but I call it an intense discussion, an opportunity for growth and feedback. It's amazing. So you get into one of these with your spouse. You can react and stay negative, or you can, obviously when you're not in front of him or her, go somewhere else and start laughing. Because it's impossible to be angry and negative when you're making yourself laugh. Try it sometime. Try it. Do it sometime. Get in a bad mood, get something negative happen, and just start laughing. If you start laughing, your body cannot stay in a negative place. It cannot. It physically will not allow you. No matter how bad it is, you make yourself laugh, you start thinking about funny things, it changes your heart rate, your breathing, everything. Now, don't do this in front of your significant other. They may not respond very well. So, start laughing. That's the first thing. Get up, walk around, get motion going. As soon as I went to Tony Robbins in March, I put trampolines in my office, little circular trampolines. Why? Because if something negative happens to one of my team members, get on the trampoline, jump up and down. Yeah, it sounds crazy, but it works.
And blast music.
Yeah, put music on. Get music, pump around, jump, move your body, breathe, start moving. So, it is a proven fact. Motion will drive your emotions. So who feels better after they work out? Does anyone feel worse after they work out? Well, it depends how hard you work out. Yeah. After my first marathon, man, I was not feeling very good. I'll tell you that. Mentally I was because I finished, but when you put yourself into motion, it creates emotion. And if you can get yourself moving and just get up and walk around, you'll put positive energy into your body. You'll be able to shift your state. That's the first and that's the baseline. So breathing, posture, and motion. Very, very important. Me, laughter. Something negative happens to me, I have a discussion or something happens at work, I start laughing. I have to. I have no choice. I cannot show up in a negative state to work. I cannot. My entire team, 70 people, their families depend on me every day. I cannot show up in a bad place. I will not show up in a bad place. If I have a terrible night, I just laugh all my way into work. Because when I show up, it is game time. Abby, have you ever seen me show up in a bad mood? Or leave in a bad mood?
No.
No, because I can't afford to. Because I have people that depend on me. When I go home, sometimes I have negative experiences that happen during the day. Before I get home, my number one job in life is to be a husband, a father, and a hero to my kids. That's my number one priority in my life. Before I enter that door, I've got to shift my state really quickly because my family depends on me and they're first. That's my number one client in my life. I don't break appointments with her ever. So when I get home, if there's a little road that turns down another road, I get to that road, I shut the car down and be like, all right, listen to music, start jamming. I got a feeling I just completely got to shift my state. Why? I got an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 3-year-old. I cannot walk in and be grumpy, pissy, negative. This is the future of our country, these kids. They are going to always remember their dad. My daughter's first love, my son's first hero. I cannot afford and I will not walk into that house negative. That's my 4 most important little guys in the world. And my wife, she depends on me for everything. I depend on her. So when I get home, it has to be all in. So I got to shift my state really quickly. So, make sense?
Yep.
It starts with physiology. People see me, I guarantee you, they think I'm fucking nuts. I'm driving down the road, I'm like, ah. I look over at people, I'm like, ah. Luckily, there's no wrapper out to my truck and say, John Reeves, Point Real Estate. Because they probably think I'm nuts. And it doesn't matter though. What matters is them. So, yeah, and I'm so high they can't see me because I'm so short. So, physiology. The next one is focus. So, it is so imperative to understand that what you focus on, you will bring into your life and you will get. If someone tells you before you meet them, that guy's a real jackass. As soon as you meet them, your mind is trying to find how they are a jackass. Yeah. And eventually they're going to say something that, oh yeah, that person is a jackass. That's true. Because you're focused on that. So what you focus on, you will get. That is a fact. So in our team, we are never allowed to say anything in the negative. It's always the behavior or the outcome that we want. It's never on what we don't want. So Scott sent me a text the other night, don't forget. I'm like, never say don't forget, you say remember. Because remember is what you want. Don't forget is what you don't want. If you focus on that, you'll get it. I forgot.
Yeah, you forgot.
Probably intentionally. So, key is you always focus on the behavior or on the outcome that you want. Now, why is this important? Because if you think about it, 98% of the things in our lives are going amazingly well. We have vehicles, we have our life, we have our health, we have our significant others, we have family, we have jobs, we have America, we have freedom, we have air, we have the ability to vote, we have this crazy guy in front of us talking about something like, what's he talking about? We have, he's like his laugh, it's great, he got some endorphins. We all have some amazing things in our lives. 98% of the stuff we have is great. The 2% is not worth focusing on. Because it's always going to be there. There's always going to be a little 2% that's not working well. Why focus on the bullshit in our lives that does nothing for us? 2% of this is the problems? Like, this is so insignificant. But what about the other things that are doing tremendously well? So whenever we get into a negative spot, instead of saying, oh, this isn't working, what is working? If we focus on what is working and put our focus there, the 98% will take over. So focus goes where energy flows. Put your energy on the things that you want and the things that are working well and the great things that you're having in your life. Does that make sense? Yep. So, are we all guilty of this? Of course, we're human. We focus on the negative. I want more. Let's think about what we have. If you focus on what is going well, what's working, and what you want, it changes the entire world. It also gets you out of the state that you're in. So you have a negative, something happens. You have a negative client on the other side of the phone. We ever had a negative client or someone who had a lot of opportunity to get better? Yeah. So you have someone who has a lot of opportunity for growth in their life. And they're snapping at you. Think of all the other things that are going amazingly well. Because, okay, one person yelled at me. I mean, who really cares? The key is the energy we bring into any room, any situation, any relationship transcends because we're all connected energetically. When I came in here, did you sense a positive energy, a lot of energy from me? Yeah, I exude energy. So any time you walk in somewhere, there's an energy you carry around you. So you want that energy to be as positive as humanly possible. Because when we're in negative energy states, what happens? We make poor decisions. When we're in a high energy state, we make amazing decisions. So focus on what's working, Not what's not. Always focus on the solution. Who cares about the problem? You know who doesn't have problems? People in cemeteries.
Yeah.
Homeless people. They don't have problems. People in graveyards have no problems. We're blessed. We have challenges. It means we're alive. So we got to focus on that. Focus on what's working well. Meaning. Last one is my favorite. Everything in life we assign meaning to. Everything. We control the meaning of anything that happens in our day, in our lives, in our world around us. So, who out in the audience has children? Okay, so you'll understand focusing on the meaning, right? So you have your young spirited child, and he's throwing a tantrum. He or she is throwing a tantrum. There's two ways to look at that. You can assign whatever meaning you want. You can get frustrated, thinking everyone's looking at me, and be like, this is great. My son has 4 legs. My son has 4 limbs that are healthy. He's able to walk. He has eyes. His voice works. He's not in a wheelchair. He's not in a children's hospital somewhere. His lungs are working fine, very fine. Actually, it's really good. His heart's beating. There's so many things you can assign the positive meaning of what's going on. Because it's happening. You can focus on the negative and assign meaning, like, this sucks, everyone's looking at me, who cares? I may be able to do a loan for one of them. They're all looking at me, it's great. More clients, they're everywhere. Or you can focus on the negative side, and you can assign meaning to that. Me, like Scott and I were up at Tony Robbins, my bag got stolen, my computer. I got to get a new computer, that one wasn't working well anyway, this is great. I get in a wreck, I'm gonna wait to see Scott one day, slam into a car in front of me. Uh-oh. Could have gotten angry, said, yeah, I get to get a new bumper, the thing was scratched anyway. It's perfect, new car. And the other guy, my insurance company bought him a new car, let me on it, gone. Thank goodness that person gets a new vehicle. So, we're in traffic, we're driving down the road. Who's been on the 78 before? The Highway 78?
That's pretty bad.
Dude, it's like the Straits of Malacca. It's like, wow, this thing's just so compact like a parking lot. So, driving down there the other day, go see one of my friends, Jim Buttrell. Driving down, I'm in a hurry. Of course, I'm a high D, so it's not going to start till I get there, but I'm running behind. I'm like, I start getting frustrated. I'm like, wait a minute. I have a vehicle. Okay? In the country of Iraq, not everyone has vehicles. In Afghanistan, not everyone has vehicles. Not there anymore. I'm safe. I'm going to see my best friend. I can drive. I have legs that can hit the accelerator. They're not, but they're on the brake. This is a great thing. So we can assign meaning to literally anything that happens in our lives at any time. The fact is, most of the time we choose to assign meaning the wrong way. Why? Because we always want more. Most of us in here are type A personality. We want more, we want to do more. And that's fine, and that's natural. We just got to assign positive meaning to the things that are in our life. Who has bills? Who has a little bit of stress about bills right now? Just 3, 4, okay. We have bills. So let's think of a time in our life when we had very, very few bills. Almost none. You remember those days? Yeah, what was that like?
I had a $700 rent payment, my car was paid off, and I was making like $15 a month. It was great.
Okay.
No kidding.
A little bit further back. Further back than that. When you had no bills at all.
Yeah.
Where were you?
growing up.
Just going to
Oh, like
school.
a kid?
Okay, so right out of high school, I was a young 17-year-old kid. I did not have an amazing wife. I didn't have a business. Didn't have any kids. I didn't have the abundance I have now. I wasn't able to speak in front of a group of people and help influence their lives at all. In fact, I had very, very little. I had no bills. Now I have a lot of bills, which to me I see them as blessings. When I write them up, it's a blessing. I remember a time when I had no bills. I had nothing. I had a few pairs of clothes and the stuff that the Marine Corps issued me, and I was in harm's way all the time. It was a dark time in my life. It was not fun. Now I have bills. I have things. I have people I have to pay. This is great. I have families that depend on me. I have people who are depending on me. I get the ability to change lives every freaking day. That's a blessing, and it's an amazing one. Yes, there is a little bit of heightened sense of awareness when the bills get higher. That means I got to get more blessings. So it's just assigning meaning to the things that happen in our life. So the key is our mind state. We have instant control over. Instant. I talk to people all the time. I'm a pretty outgoing guy. Always have been, but it's gotten way more the last year. I go to the grocery store. How's your day? How's your day going? going on? Well, it's just been a long day. It's really busy. Busy? That's great. Revenue. Your company's doing well. They can afford to have you employed. That's a great thing. I guess you're right. I am right. Well, why aren't you having a great day? I don't know. Who determines that? Yes, I do. Like, yeah, that's awesome. So, a lot of people just don't understand how to change their state. My job as a leader in my organization is to change the states of others every day. And I have to be in peak state all the time. Because if I'm not, I can't influence Abby. I can't influence the Marines, the people who work in my organization. I can't influence them. You have a gift. You get to change people's lives every day through a home mortgage. You are giving people literally the American dream. You're helping people accumulate wealth. You're helping people build a future and a legacy for families and eons beyond. You are so incredibly blessed. You change their state, they're on the phone, I'm so stressed. Let's not be stressed. You're getting on home. You're about to have the American dream. You're about to accumulate wealth. So our job as leaders is to change state, but we can't change our own state. If we don't know how to change our own state, it makes it very, very difficult to change the states of others. So, very, very effective, and it's not difficult at all to do this. You just have to focus on it. So, we all run into challenges in our life. It's how we deal with them that determines our future and our lives and our results. So, Scott.
Bring up how your body positions.
What do you mean?
Down, worried state.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, thank you for bringing that up. So, the worried state, interestingly enough, is when you're typing in a computer, you're hunched over, it's quiet, you're low energy. That's a low energy state. You're down. The quickest way to shift your state is to stand up. I call it the Superman pose, but it can also be the Wonder Woman pose. So, stand up, head up high, and just breathe. Instantaneously will change the way you feel. You go from a low energy place to a high. Very, very easy. And it's simple. I mean, guys, this is something you can use today when you walk out of here. You can literally change your state by changing your energy level, motion, movement, what you're focusing on. Oh, that's not working, but one of these great things that are. Actually, that's an opportunity. Like, that was great. I got a ticket. Now I get an opportunity to find a lawyer. Maybe I'll do his loan. Who knows? So there's just so many great things, if you think about it, that you control the meaning of. So you can have one person who gets cancer and thinks, oh, why is God punishing me? I'm going to die. And the other person's like, who gets cancer and says, wow, this God has given me a great gift of life to go fight through this and fight through adversity. And I saw both in my own life with friends of mine. So it literally is the meaning that we assign to it. One of my friends gets a divorce, is crushed. And my other friend gets a divorce, like, you know what? I learned it didn't work. I have an opportunity for a new family. I have an opportunity to learn and grow from this. Both of them had the exact same thing happen. One of them, I don't know what path he's going to go. The other one has already decided he's going to make this the greatest growing opportunity he ever had in his life. So that's the power of state. And it's instant, guys. You can instantly change this. Guys, this did not used to be me. I used to be a negative person. I was a business owner. I saw the bills coming in every day. I'm like, oh, where's the fucking closings? What's going on? My truck got repossessed in 2013. Literally pulled out of my driveway. Repossessed. I couldn't believe it. But I was like, well, I guess I don't have to pay the expensive gas. So, look, I've had adversity, a ton of it. Had to go get my truck back. How embarrassing. A Naval Academy graduate. Former Marine captain. Great profession, career military guy, gets out, goes into real estate, and 4 years later, my truck's getting re-fucking-possessed. Because I didn't look at the numbers. I thought I see. So, look, we all have negative aspects. I've been sued. I've been alligated against. Lawsuits. It happens. It's part of life. Last lawsuit we had, I'm like, oh, wow, I get to call my lawyer again. I actually helped him buy a house. It's perfect. Maybe he's ready for investment property. I'm going to learn this. I've never been to this before. I get to go through another lawsuit. This is a great opportunity for me to grow professionally. This is awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. We won. So,
What I meant by is, like, if you're in a worried state, where are your shoulders?
oh, they're down. Worried states are down.
Yeah.
Look, you can just look around and tell who's in a worried state when you're walking around. They're just hunched over, they're just down. You can see people who are not worried at all. They're up, they're high. They walk confident.
So if you're, what I mean by is, like, if your body's in the wrong position, it's hard to get into the state. So if you're in a worried state, shoulders down, head down, how's your breathing?
Low, slow.
Slow, deep and long, or Short and shallow.
Very, very short.
Eyes
Down.
more closed or wide open.
Very, very closed.
Your voice muffled
Muffled. It's not.
or loud and crisp. So when you're in that worried state, right, it's hard to get excited. Right, so you gotta get your body into the proper position.
That's why we do the trampolines in our office. Come in our office, it's pretty wild. Like, you'll be blown away. Like, what's going on in here?
There'll be
Everyone's-
trampolines here next week, because I gotta buy some.
But the quickest way to get you out of a negative place is to jump. So, and it works tremendously well. Now, guys, I wouldn't be telling you this if this didn't make a massive impact in my own life. So this is something that's instant. You can do it right now, and it's easy. So one of the things that I learned, and I always talk about her, is I hired a life coach as well. Why? Because after Tony Robbins, it's like going to the gym one time, you feel fired up. Well, what happens when you go away? Oh, well, that was one time. So when I left Tony Robbins, my life was transformed for the better. And the most important thing about that was I wanted to be the most amazing husband that I could possibly be for my wife. I wanted to be a 10-star husband on a 4-star scale. I wanted to be so better than I'd ever been because my wife's my best friend. I love her with all my heart. She's my soulmate, my best friend. Like, I worship the ground she walks on. She is literally everything to me. So when I left Tony Robbins, I said, God, I want to be better. How do I maintain this? Because I don't want this to just drift away. We ever come out of a seminar or church or something, we're all fired up, and then, or New Year's, like, let's go work out, we get in the gym, and all of a sudden, 3 months later, we're not. So when I left there, I said, how am I going to maintain what I've learned here? And I found a life coach, marriage coach, who could coach me through, and I've been to her every week since April this year. So I go in, and she gives me every day, or every time I go there, she gives me another strategy. Well, use this when that happens. I'm like, wow, this is great. So I've continually evolved this year, getting better and better, because my number one job is husband, father, hero. Number one is to be the best husband I can possibly be for my wife. That's my number one job. And I love her with all my heart, and then it's my kids. So after that, it's the company. I gotta make sure I'm a leader for them. So I'm a servant leader to everyone in my life. I knew the way to get better and better was to hire a coach. So that's the massive action plan that I came up with Tony Robbins. Like, well, if I don't know how to do this stuff, no one ever coached me on how to be all these things that I've learned. I had a weightlifting coach, I had a business coach, I had a real estate coach, I had a mortgage coach, thank you, Scott. I had all these coaches in my life, but the one was most fucking important. I didn't have a coach for my wife. How do I become a better man to my woman? So after I went and saw Alicia Frank, completely transformed my ego. I used to have a really high ego. My wife would say something would set me off. Now it's like, it's great feedback, Andy. Thank you so much. Because she has nothing negative to say to me. She wants to make me a better man, wants to make me a better father for my kids. So now when she says stuff like, you know what, you're 100% correct. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Will you forgive me? Let me get better. And we have such a different relationship now. Because my ego, it's not there anymore. My people at work come up to me, John, this is a bad idea. I'm like, okay, let's talk about this. Let's figure out why. Where I used to be like, no, this is my idea. This is right. It's all right. Now they come, bring stuff to me like, okay, let's figure out a way. Let's figure out a solution. You're absolutely correct. You're my client. You're my agent. I got to listen to you. You're my employee. You're my client. I've got to take care of you. Let's figure this out together. So it's completely opened up doors that were never open before. As a result, our business has grown 50% this year. A lot of things in my life has changed because ego is gone, and ego just means edge God out or edge greatness out. If you're not Christian. And I just edged it out. I'm done. I'm never going back to the place I was. So, why do I say this? It all started with state. You can change your state, you can change your results, you change your results, change your outcomes, change your income, change your income, you change your life. We all do things every day here to change people's lives for the better. That is what you do in mortgage. You influence the human condition. You leave someone better than you found them. There is something fucking awesome about that, guys. That is something powerful about what we do in this industry. And it is fucking life fucking changing. So it is awesome. So that's all I have today. Thank you guys for listening to me talk about this and all this other stuff. I think our time's up, but if there's any questions about anything I covered, I will stick around, answer anything you guys have to ask me. Anything.
Any questions? Yeah, no. Role plays, anything you want to throw at him?
How many times did you bench 405?
For my wife, 6. Like, all right, 6 times. So, unfortunately, I didn't do the calculated CR or 1 rep max. Otherwise, it would have been like 475 or something. But I'm not